Hello, I'm Chris Bewley. Welcome to 7 Days of Flesh and Blood. Long introductions are boring. Today, we've got Hayden Dale, the champion of the 2019 Sydney $10,000 tournament, The Calling. It was a sealed event. He won it with... You have to watch and find out. Thank you so much, Hayden. Thank you, everybody, for watching. See you soon. What about it? Oh, is it? No, not what. All right, we are live from Silicon Valley. Google. No, we're not. Yeah, we're not in Google. As you can tell by my hairstyle, I am still in South Korea, and I'm here with Hayden Dale, the winner of Sydney The Calling 2019 sealed event. Hello, how are you? What's going on?
Hey Chris, I'm good. How are you? Good to see. As you say, it looks like you are in Google or Apple's head office there, but fooling the viewers, I see.
I know. Well, hey, you know me. I like to have a good time. What have you been up to? Let's say the last 7 days ish. What's new?
In life or
anything.
We've
only got an hour though.
Okay, all right. I'll keep it short. Well, look, it's spoiler season for Flesh and Blood, so that's pretty exciting for everyone, right? I'm trying to get work done, but it's really difficult when you're checking the phone every 10 minutes and the chats are blowing up and the spoilers are coming through. But yeah, other than that, just work and life, man. It's a whole new world, right? So it's a bit different at the moment. But yeah, being here in Sydney, it's not. We're pretty fortunate. It's not too bad. So yeah, things have been pretty good.
Exactly, a whole new world. Very topical. So, not to hijack my own video, but I think it is probably worth noting. As mentioned in the video that I did with Kale, near the end, I did say I had a Hearthstone tournament that night. Turns out, at 1 a.m. Korean time, I started the tournament. There's like 1 million people and it's single elimination. So at 2 a.m., I decided to drink this.
That's where it ends, right?
Like, oh, God. No, not alcohol. I decided to drink this absolutely most fucking concentrated coffee I've ever had in my life at 2 a.m. And I lost like the second round of the tournament and ended up staying awake for about 44 hours. After that, I got on the old Skype call with my girlfriend, and going back to the whole new world, yes, we watched 1992 animated Aladdin together, and I finally fell asleep. So, great reference. Cool. So, Hayden, let's talk about. Well, I've done enough talking already. Let's talk about these new cards. You recently spoiled an incredible card, but what are your thoughts and observations on any and all of these new cards recently?
I'm pretty excited, to be honest. I think Crucible looks amazing. I think it's going to be a massive step up in power level for the game. We won't be having to fill our decks with some of these limited commons and limited rares that we've had to in the past. I think, maybe Driving Blades and Warrior, or some of these brute filler cards. Like, I think every class has had about 40 to 50 solid cards, but it's had to make some, I guess, suboptimal choices. Whereas now, I think we'll get a lot of new cards that will allow for people to come up with new strategies or find different lines to play the game. So I think that's exciting. I think every class is going to get something pretty great out of this.
Going up.
Yeah, it's huge, man. So look, I think that's the most exciting thing about the game. Obviously, I was lucky enough to get a spoiler for my beloved Runeblade, or actually in more of a new sort of a new thing for me, Runeblade. But yeah, that was exciting. So Runeblade Barrier was my.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Can I quote you in an article that you recently said? You said, sure, if you were able to play Road to Nationals, you would sleeve up Runeblade.
Yeah, I probably would have played something similar to that list that I had published prior to Crucible for at least one Road to Nationals. I don't know what I would do post Crucible. I mean, who knows, right? There's so many things to look at and test. But I thought that Runeblade was a good way to attack the format. I think that sort of multi-level, the arcane and physical damage. And I think it's just a cool deck. It's so much fun to play. So yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, and the Kale said the other day at the end of the video, he mentioned, and what's your opinion on this? He said, if people were able to play Wizard and Runeblade, well, look at my hands, they're popping in and out. Wizard and Runeblade really, really well, that therefore would result in a decrease of defense reactions, therefore putting Azalea into the format as a tier 1 deck. Do you see those moving parts, and what do you think about that thought experiment?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think Kale's got a great point. I think the way that the meta's formed at the moment is really dominated by what's happened in the New Zealand Road to Nationals. Probably primarily by, a group of players who are probably playing at a higher level at the moment, and can see the game at probably a level that everyone's probably and will catch up to, but it's probably going to take a little bit of time. This game is so deep, right? So just being a couple of steps or even one step ahead can be massive, and I think that's kind of defined the meta early on. So yeah, 100%. I mean, if Wizard gets a few more tools with Crucible, or people put the time into even work it out in this current format, I think we could have seen the the metagame shift and warp with that. Less defense reactions, like as you say, and then that could mean that Azalea comes up, or it could mean that Dash falls away, and then I don't know, Guardian comes up. Who knows? So look, I think the classes in this game are all quite close in terms of power level and balance. So yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I'm excited to see what happens to the Crucible as well. Maybe Azalea will be the first cab off the rank for Road to Nationals with Crucible.
Yeah, well, there's been some news recently. I'm very sorry off the top of my head, can't remember the name of the pioneer, but there was a man, and he went 6-0, and he posted a very short tournament report in the Facebook group recently. Did you see or hear about that?
Was this for Ranger or for?
Yeah, for Ranger.
I have to go check it out.
I'll put some type of link and shout out, but to that man that went 6, and he won an event, and it was kind of like this go wide ninja style Ranger. So that's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Definitely give him a plug. I mean, if you can give plugs to ninja players to have a chat to, I think KP Kenny, who came up with the original TTS mod. So huge member of the community. I think he's got a love for Azalea, and we've had some close games with him. Hey,
touching again on being a little bit of a step ahead in the game, and you talked about the New Zealand meta being quite possibly a big pillar of that. How do you test, and who do you test with? Because what's the story there, bro?
Well, look, I mean, testing at the moment, not really testing for anything. There's currently in Australia, understandably, but also unfortunately with COVID, we don't have any Road to Nationals at the moment locked in, or no idea when sort of nationals might be happening. So there's nothing really for me to be, I guess, testing at the moment. But in saying that, I'll definitely be helping a couple of the guys from New Zealand test for their nationals. It's only a month away now, or just over a month. So in terms of what that'll look like, probably because of the distance, it'll be on TTS, I think. So on the tabletop simulator, as I said, the mod that Kenny from the community provided. It's an easy way to get testing in. You can sort of get quick games of testing. But with this game, I think one of the biggest things as well, because there's 8 classes at the moment, 8 heroes, and maybe more. Who knows? We might find out tomorrow, right? So
maybe not the right format, but yeah.
There could be come nationals in a month's time. There could be a lot to test. So a big part of this game, I think, is theory crafting as well, and understanding the ways that the game's played and how games might play out without actually testing them. You can test a bunch, and because of the fact that cards are so versatile and interchangeable, and the iterations of card and hands you can get, I think talking about the game and understanding turns and structure can actually be half the testing.
Yeah, I agree. It is. I think Flesh and Blood is really unique in that way that pushing and pulling through discussions and conversations really does have a genuine level of validity to it, as opposed to other card games. A lot of the best strategies are very fixed, so that's cool. Hey, you talked about testing something like that with some of the New Zealand guys. Do you have a fixed group of players that you work with, or see what happens?
I haven't in the past. I will be working for nationals with Jason Long and Isaac Olsen.
Cool. Good boys.
Jason Long, who's long time friend from Christchurch.
Long time friend.
A long time friend, Jason Long, exactly. Who came over for the Sydney calling, actually stay with me, and he top eighted that. I'm sure people know he's had 3 top 8s for callings, and Isaac, winner of the first calling in Auckland. So 2 great minds of the game. So we'll see what we can come up with for those 2 guys for nationals.
That's a scary team, bro. Good luck. Well, yeah, good. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So that's awesome, bro.
Make your own luck, right?
Exactly. Well, that's what Phil Brooks told me. Hey, so tell us about what happened on November the 9th, 2019. You and a particular brute, and some other bits and pieces. Tell us about that day and the days before and after that.
Oh, right. Okay. So I'm guessing that's the date of the Sydney calling, wasn't it? My memory's not good. Not good, Chris.
Well, you think yours is not anyway. How was the calling for you?
Yeah. Look. It was such a cool way, I think, to be introduced to the game. Before that, prior to that, I think in September, I'd sort of seen the Ira deck and played a couple of games of that. So to then go from the Ira deck, which is, a real introduction to the game, and then I think the week that the game came out, I bought a couple of boxes and built some sealed pools in anticipation of the calling, knowing that I was going to head along to that. And then fast forward to mid-November and going and playing at the event. It was awesome. It was so much fun. And I love Limited as a function of trading card games.
I've seen
and I've played Magic
for a long time.
Yeah, I played Magic for so many years, and in that game, Limited was by far my favorite piece. Drafting every week was what I love to do, and Sealed wasn't as good in that game as it is in this game. Sealed in this game is fantastic, and there's a lot you are really rewarded for the way that you build your deck and the way that you play the game in Sealed. So yeah, it was heaps fun and ran pretty well on the day with Reiner, as you say. So I had Reiner.
Wow, you won the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. So ran well.
Well, that's the thing. You kind of do have to run well. You got to combine a bit of luck with skill. So that's 100%,
cool. Right. And I got to play Reiner in the Swiss with my Sealed deck. Had some great Reiner cards and great generics that supported Reiner. And then in the top 8, got passed into a Reiner deck. So fantastic.
That's
exactly.
Cool. Oh, wow, that's awesome. And do you think you and Reiner will have much of an immediate future based on what you've seen recently?
100%, definitely.
Yeah.
Reiner will always be my sort of, hold a special place for me, obviously. So I'll always look to see. And to be honest, Brute's one of the classes I enjoy probably playing the most as well. So we'll look at something there.
Oh, that's cool. I'm a newly... I don't know, what's the word? Newly recruited Brute fan myself.
Okay, so you've moved away from Katsu.
Yeah, well, not only, I was going to make like a Katsu meat vegetarian joke, but, that wouldn't be funny. But I guess part of my obsession with professional wrestling and a few of those references with the mandible claw weapon has really got me in there. Yeah. Nice. Hey, let's go to the future. So, where do you see yourself and Flesh and Blood in 3-5 years, something like that? What's the future hold?
Look, I hope the game is thriving, and I hope we see it across the world. I know the expansion into Europe and to other parts of the Americas is underway, and obviously we've seen some fantastic road to nationals happening in Malaysia and Taiwan. So the game's obviously growing there. That's the thing I hope for the most, and I think we will see is it's a fantastic game. I think you play 1 or 2 games and you are kind of instantly hooked. It's such an interesting and dynamic trading card game. So look, I think it will grow. I think we'll see more high level competitive events as we go, and as well we'll see game variants for the casual players as well. I think just as much as you can play this game at a high level, the casual aspect of this game is fantastic with Blitz and Pit Fight. And I'm sure we'll see other formats down the road as well. So there's that. And look, I hope I can be part of that, playing the game. And I'd love to, continue to try and travel to some premier events and, see what happens.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I like how you touched on that sort of that casual-based thing. It is extremely important for a card game in many ways. And, if there's anyone out there similar to myself that starts reading the text on a card, loses absolute all attention and understanding comprehension of it. Some people, it could be a little bit of a barrier. The complexities to Flesh and Blood Where do you think blitz or casual, or do you have any comments on how some of the nuances of the game could put people off?
Well, I think one of the best things about Flesh and Blood is that it's a really layered game, and inherently the structure of the game is like, it's simple. It's you and your opponent. You only one person's playing at a time in most parts. You have a chain. You play along the chain. You finish your actions. You have 4 cards every turn, or 5 cards if you're playing from Arsenal, and there might be some things that happen. But in general, it's a very simple game. So I think from that aspect, it doesn't take people long to pick up the basics and enjoy it. And then, if you want to start digging a bit deeper and delving into some of the layers of the game and how you might trade turns, or how you might think about cycling your deck, things like that, those are all concepts that can come along. And you don't have to pick up those concepts. You can happily play the game at a very basic understanding and enjoy it and have a good time. And I'm sure in the future, many people are going to continue to do that with mates and at local game stores. And yeah, so look, I think if people are put off maybe the first 1 or 2 times they try it by, the amount of cards they have to read, or the way the game plays out, I think give it a couple more and I'm sure they'll love it. I think the game is, as I say, fairly simple in its essence.
I agree completely. Yeah, it is. Inherently very simple sort of stuff. So anyone out there, don't be worried if you see the word "go again" on a card 9 times. It's all good.
Look, and as you say, right, just play Guardian, right? I don't know. Sorry, play Pistol Dash, right? There you go. That's
that's the one. Well, here is one thing that Chris Beauty will say that is serious for the 4th time in his life ever. Here's some advice that no one asked for. I challenge players, be aware of your skill level. Like I know I'm not the best player, but I know that some decks will be more user-friendly for me and create more opportunities for me to win. That's why I play Ninja and I don't touch Dash. There's way too many counters and moving parts on Dash for me. So I would say to people, play to your strengths, things like that. That's why I play Tron in Magic the Gathering. All you do is play Kana on turn 3 and you win. So that works for me. So play this,
and it's fun, right?
Yeah, there is a way to win for everybody, and that's really cool.
Hey, look, I think on that as well, I think it's important to encourage people, if you have a certain affinity for a hero, you can be competitive and play that hero. I think the metagame might ebb and flow and shift, but because of the way that cards in this game are and the versatility of them, you can build your deck in a lot of different ways, and you will be able to going forward with new sets coming in. So look, if you've got a hero that you specifically love, keep going with it. Why not?
That's awesome, man. I agree. Yeah, it's there's something to be said about doing what you love or playing what you love. That's cool. And speaking of that, what's your favorite card and what's your favorite class?
Ooh, all right. I'm gonna. It's a tough one. Can I have a couple of answers?
Go for it.
Is that okay? All right. So I think Reiner, as I said, obviously holds a special place in my heart. But I think from a gameplay perspective, Wizard and Brute are my 2 favorite classes to play. Oh. But I also, from a flavor and art perspective, I love the Mechanologist class. I think the steampunk aspects and the some of Dash's.
You're like a bit of a steampunk yourself, actually.
Oh, dude, clearly, I took a trip to Oamaru once, so. For anyone in New Zealand, I'm sure they'll know all about Oamaru, the steampunk capital of New Zealand, I guess.
The longest street on the globe. I don't know. I think there's like one street, and that's the whole town.
Oh right, yeah. I mean,
something like that.
You drive through it, yeah. Those are probably my 3 favorite. But look, I genuinely enjoy playing every class in this game. That they're so different. Each of them are so different and have different aspects of what's cool and things like that. So I think I've played every class for at least a week here or there and messed around with it. Favorite card, I can't go past Energy Potion, to be honest. I think Energy Potion is my favorite card. It just opens up so many avenues for crafting turns and game plans and where you can sort of take a game and there's a downside to it, right? There's a cost. It does cost an action to play it. So not only do I think it's a great card, but I think it's a balanced card. So
you can't block with it either, right? Yeah.
You cannot block with it. Well, I guess you can block arcane damage.
Yes.
So block arcane damage, I guess. There you go.
That's true. I like that. You see solutions, not problems, and that's a good thing.
Solution guy. That's me.
Oh, yes. Hey, okay. So we talked a little bit about Big Viscerai earlier. Do you have any more comments about the article or any of your writing in general? It was Metrics Daily that the article was published on, was it?
It was on FabDB. So
damn it! I knew it. I knew it. Shout out to all of the content
Shout out to all the content creators. Exactly. Yeah, that's one thing that I think will help this game grow as well, is fantastic content creators and websites that are supporting those creators, like Kirk at FabDB and Logan at Metrics Daily. So 100%. Yeah. Any more comments on Viscerai? Look, I think Viscerai, as I said before, super fun to play. Really cool to have two lines of attack with the arcane and the physical damage. There's some really powerful cards that have already been spoiled for Runeblade.
What about that chest?
The chest, yeah. Look, it might be. Maybe is it the best equipment? Who knows? From the set, I don't know. But look, I think there's going to be a lot of tools that you have moving forward with Runeblade. Whether you want to take it in a really aggressive version, more of a mid-range version, or a control sort of OTK version. I think you're going to be able to do whatever you want. Which one will be the best? Not sure. But I do think the Viscerai or Runeblade will be more represented after the set. I think we might see it put up some results as well, potentially. Look, who knows? But I think I'm excited. I'm excited when I crack some cards next week to make some changes to my Viscerai list and see where we go from there.
That's really cool. That's cool. Hey, we talked about the future, but it's always good to give a bit of a nod to the past. Can you give us just a brief outline? Oh, there it is. A brief outline of some of the other games that you have played and sort of your involvement in them.
Yeah, sure. Magic's been the game that I've played for the longest. For Magic the Gathering, I've played, I think, for about 16 years.
You're about 18, aren't you? What?
I wish. About 16 years played Magic. Through that time, I guess spent time sort of grinding and trying to play competitive through that, and things with life and whatnot. It sort of took me away from that probably about 3 years ago. I stopped playing Magic a lot. But look, as all things happen, right? You as a gamer, you always get pulled back in, and Flesh and Blood definitely did that for me about a year ago. So yeah, other than that, I enjoy playing board games. From a TCG perspective, though, it's mainly been Magic. Obviously, dabbled in Yu-Gi-Oh, as everyone did when they were younger, Pokemon. But I think Flesh and Blood will be the one for me going forward. It's just such a fantastic game. So
warms my heart to hear. Hey, here's a question, not on the list of approved questions, as I like to do.
Ooh, I have to ask PR.
Yeah, well, I who could? Yeah, I've got nothing. If you could choose some players that you know personally to get into the game, who would you have playing Flesh and Blood?
Oh, I feel like this is a loaded question. I feel like.
What did you say about Dr. Dan Mackay? Sorry. What?
Yeah, Dr. Dan Mackay. I would have to give him a call.
He's not picking up, bro.
I know. Look, for the viewers out there, Daniel Mackay, who I believe is the reigning national champion for Magic in New Zealand, because Nationals has been discontinued. So I think he'll get to hold that title.
Oh, don't tell.
His ego needs a boost, clearly.
Yeah.
Who's a great Magic player, as I say, reigning national champion. I'd love to see him playing Flesh and Blood. So he's a Christchurch local. So if anyone in Christchurch is looking to grow the community and play the game, they should. Look, I've got a few people who can join. I'm sure they would love to get involved if they got somewhere to play.
What about that biochemical cloning, putting cows and windows inside of cows guy? What's his name?
Sam Wiley.
Wiley. What about him? Down in Gore, shout out Southland.
He lives down south, so you have to get him into the game as well. And maybe you might have to make some calls or send out some IRO decks, maybe.
Yeah, might have to build another suit of armor with a different card back on it this time.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Hey, just before we head off, anything else at all that you would like to say or talk about to anybody or the community, or what's on your mind?
Well, I mean, what's on everyone else's mind right now? Crucible of War, right? I think just encourage people to when it's safe to do so, and with things obviously happening, to get out and play. And for this specific content that people want to see, I think they should sort of start talking about that. So the content creators out there like yourselves and the great websites that we have can start to produce that content. I think we're going to see the game change a lot when Crucible hits.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more and more players come in. It already looks like in the US and parts of Europe are really starting to grow. So I think it's super exciting that we're going to see different. I think we're already seeing different regional meta games. If you look at the Taiwan Road to Nationals, you've got the New Zealand Road to Nationals. I think once Europe and the US hit as well, I think these meta games will start to come together and collide, and it's going to be super interesting. So look, that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah, I'm scared of Europe, bro. They know how to play card games.
They do know how to play card games. They've got some fantastic card players out there.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. We have like a bit of a head start, right? So we should make the most of it. And look, I think the target, Nationals is a month away. I think the target's going to be squarely on Matt Rogers' back and his team. So I think everyone will be trying to brew and test and see what they can do to dethrone the king.
I know. Oh, yeah, he needs an ego boost too, doesn't he? Hey, so what's your status for National? Because you're a Kiwi living in Australia. How do you fit into that?
I would play in Australian Nationals whenever that happens.
So are you like sort of on the list and you're allowed to? Is it country of residence, right?
Yeah, I think it's wherever your primary residence for the past 12 months. Or I've been here for over 3 years now, so this is my primary country of residence. So look, once it's able to happen and it's the right thing to do, I'm sure LSS and the team, they'll make some announcements about what's going to happen here, and look, everyone will be waiting for it and excited to play. I know there's a big community down in Melbourne, and obviously for them, not able to play right now with lockdown. So I'm sure they'll come back with a vengeance and be ready.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, hey, I think our time is almost up. Yeah. So, bro, like, we've been friends. Well, I've been your friend. Anyway, we've been friends for a long time, and it's a real pleasure to have you. I really, really appreciate the time and your thoughts and your words, sharing with me and, of course, the entire community. I wish you all the best in your upcoming events and in general. So, thanks again, Hayden. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris, man. Thanks for having me. All the best, and enjoy your move to Korea.
I'm already here. Oh, no, that makes sense.
Once you get out of quarantine,
Yeah, it's...
How's the last 7 days of quarantine been for Chris?
Oh, that's a good thing. Well, the first 7 days were pretty good. I would wake up, do some, study about the stock market. It's not a joke. Then I did exercise for about an hour. I'm on this awesome sort of plan thing. Then I would cook my own lunch. If you've seen my mukbang videos, I'm sure you know all about that. Then after that, I do some more reading. Then I did some explicit Korean language study. Then I watched some stuff. And then I go to bed. That was the first 7 days. But after that, this happened. That's that coffee. And then it was like every day became 2. That's not good, bro. I've got 4 more days and we'll be okay. All right, so thanks so much, Hayden, and we'll see you very soon.
Bye.
Bye.